KSI already dropped one of the greatest tracks of 2024, but the Gripster is back and just responded to the Kendrick and Drake beef finally after months. But with all due respect, I feel like it is a little bit out of pocket to call J. Cole the Gripster. In today's video, I'm going to be discussing this brand new J. Cole single called Port Antonio, and honestly defending J. Cole a little bit here. With that being said, though, get some cranberry juice, some Cheerios. Let's get right into this video. We are going to start off with this overall sound, right? Let's talk about how this sounds. I do think that J. Cole still has some great musical ear for the most part. I feel like the production on here was really good, the soul sample was really good, and it's always great when he gets one of these long beats where he can just continue to ramble, in my opinion. I mean, he's kind of known for this, and a lot of people recently have been over talking about the fact that, oh, this is a snooze fest, this is that. But if you have been a J. Cole fan for quite some time, a lot of J. Cole fans love this stuff where he kind of just rambles, and on here he does a little bit more than just ramble. He has some interesting bars on here, as well as talking about a lot of stuff. Like he genuinely says some stuff on here, and yeah, it's 6 minutes, he has a lot of time to, but I think that he was just getting into it, having a little bit of fun here. He's not taking it too serious, but he's still discussing some important topics. And I do think though that it's very easy to cook on him because the lack of self-awareness recently. I think Drake boosted his ego a little bit too much, and ever since he's been trying to act like he's like ignorant almost. Like he's been a lot more ignorant with this stuff. He's been a lot more boastful in his music recently, and a lot of J. Cole fans aren't really very fond of that. And even his features, like I personally have not been enjoying his features recently. He had that feature with Gucci Mane on Mike Will Made It, and that feature with T Grizzly I think was pretty interesting, but overall I feel like he sounded a lot more ignorant recently, and I personally have not enjoyed that. I mean, I think he did a great job on the off season with doing that, but I think that I'm kind of missing a little bit more of the lyrical substance J. Cole, you know what I mean? Like he needs some more stuff in his music now, because it can be a little bit of a snooze fest when he's actually just trying to rap boastful. Like I feel like that J. Cole is more boring than any J. Cole, in my opinion. It's him just sitting there rapping. Like if you don't have anything to bring to the table, J. Cole, like of talking, that's like what you're literally known for. Like nobody's going to J. Cole for crazy flows or super exciting music. The good thing about him is how intricate and how intelligent he sounds in a lot of his music, and the fact that he took a lot of that away recently has been kind of upsetting. And I think it's valid for him to have fun, but I hope that we do not have that type of sound on the album. I mean, that's just me though. I mean, this definitely, like, my opinion is probably not the biggest, most important thing, but I feel like a lot of people would agree with the fact that J. Cole sounds a lot better when he's being more in touch with himself. I do think that he has some pretty good lyrics on here at times. I think that the "just because I don't shoot the gun is not deadly" was a pretty interesting metaphor, even though I think that it definitely loses a lot of value when you realize that J. Cole started to diss Kendrick Lamar, but then he kind of like backed up immediately after that and apologized, and the diss itself was not starting good. Like that was a horrible way to start like a diss track war with somebody, and I think that J. Cole definitely realized that he probably would have got cooked, and I genuinely think that he would have got cooked. I think he definitely could have warmed up a lot more, but it did not help his case that he started the beef horribly. Like he did not do good. I think that Drake started really good and overall did really good against Kendrick Lamar. The only problem was that Kendrick's so ahead in the fact that he dropped another song to completely cancel out one of Drake's best disses at Kendrick Lamar, as well as dropping the overall big song, which was Not Like Us. And Drake proceeded to follow up with the Hard Part 6, which sucked. Like up until the Hard Part 6, I feel like Drake did a great job, and I feel like a lot of people have been saying that, and I completely agree with that. I also don't enjoy the fact that he's trying too hard to not try hard, because he's definitely affected by the criticism, and act like he wasn't really trying to do any damage with the Kendrick Lamar situation, which you could tell he definitely was hesitant. But the fact that you re-listen to that song and put it out still, like the run that J. Cole went on in 2024 was really a pretty alright album with some pretty good songs on there, but also having some very ignorance coming from J. Cole on the album, mixed with a horrible diss on Kendrick Lamar. And then he backpedaled right after that, and then after he backpedaled and apologized, he released Grippy, bro. Like I don't know, it's hard to defend this. It's hard to defend that. And the fact that he's trying to be like, oh no, I wasn't trying so hard, is a little bit upsetting. I'm not gonna get too worked up over it, but it's definitely a big problem that he's trying to act like all nonchalant about it, bro. It definitely affected you. Like, you had a crazy run, bro. You tripped. Like, that was your run, was you tripped. That was the entire thing. And then everybody was like, oh, you're no longer part of the big three. And to be honest, I think that Drake and Kendrick Lamar definitely look like they're part of the big two at this point. I mean, definitely J. Cole came up with them, but the big three, in terms of skill, J. Cole just dropped completely. Like, current day, right now, I would not listen to J. Cole over a Drake or a Kendrick Lamar, his most recent album. I feel like Drake has put out some better stuff with For All the Dogs, and Kendrick Lamar, everything he puts out is just Kendrick Lamar, bro. I did enjoy Jay talking about how he felt a weight lifted on his shoulders when everybody stopped talking about him being like the main competitor, because honestly, in an industry that we are in, it's so easy to be so competitive, especially if you want to be one of the greatest of all time. It's so cutthroat, and so many people are so aggressive towards each other. He would rather take a step out, apparently to him, according to him, he would rather take a step out than be cemented as the greatest of all time. Like, and that's honestly fair. I think that's a great statement, but it's just the fact that he already started the argument. Like, he already started arguing and then ended up retracting his statements after, and I think that was just a blunder there. If he didn't do that and he just remained silent and was like, chill, like, if in a world where J. Cole didn't drop Grippy, and in a world where he did not try to diss Kendrick Lamar and just straight up was just like, yo, I'm not gonna pick a side, I think that would have worked out a lot better for him, way better, and people would probably appreciate that a lot more. But he definitely did get peer pressured into starting arguing, and he even said that himself. But with that being said, another thing that he brings up here is the feeling of growing up in a hard life and then being put into a better situation almost makes you feel awkward when you go back to moments where you have to be tougher, like a big argument or stuff like that, or anything really. If you get put back into a situation after leaving that situation and becoming a lot softer, I feel like it's definitely very easy to come back with that same drive and overall viciousness that you used to have trying to go up in life. You know what I mean? Like, he really already made it to the top of music, and there's not really that much to do after that. But with that being said, I definitely enjoyed this song. I think that it could get a little bit boring, and I'm upset it's not on Spotify though, because I did want to listen to it a couple more times, and it's overall really hard to get to listen to because it's only on YouTube really. But hopefully some of the stuff on the album is a lot more conscious. I definitely like conscious J. Cole a lot more than ignorant J. Cole. That's what I listen to J. Cole for. I'm not gonna go to J. Cole to listen to like a Future song. Like, that's what Future's for, you know? Stay in your own lane, please, J. Cole. You already showed that you are a decent rapper, pretty great rapper actually. One of the greatest rappers of all time on the off season, even when you're being boastful. But I think it's a great time to just slow down and have a good retirement album, like a great, soft ending to your career. If the off season is actually his last one, to just slow down and appreciate the ending of his journey in terms of. And with that being said though, that's all I really gotta say. I love you all very much. I'm conflicted and I'm out. Peace.